Plants and forests have been a crucial part of a daily life because they are the ones that sustain it. Be it the Amazonian rainforest or the green cover of Madhya Pradesh and the beautiful wildlife and biological diversity of the Himalayas. Forests have always added to the biological aesthetic as well as the life on Earth. Their contribution to what life is very significant. A very good evening, everyone. This is your host Prayam, welcoming you all to this event, a discussion over deliberation on the role of plants and forests in sustaining life on Earth, presented by the VONG SDG Cafe. Our previous decades of population increase, pollution increase, and ignorance have led to a great scale of deforestation. Today, afforestation and saving the wildlife as well as the biology of the very planet we live on has become crucial. So crucial that it is one of the major goals of almost all nations to save the biodiversity on Earth. Today with us is esteemed Dr. Pradeep Rath. He is the Deputy Chair Labour Commissioner of India. I'll give you a brief introduction about him. Sorry, there was a network issue on my part. We were talking about Dr. Pradeep Rath. He's the former Deputy Chief Labour Commissioner. He's also the President of Paribesh Suraksha Abhijan. He's also a member of the Odisha Environment Committee as well as Prakriti Bandhu Awadi of Government of Odisha. He has worked with schools and various educational institutions to plant trees along with the help of children and others. He has also contributed towards rainwater harvesting and conservation practices in general. Now we'll talk about Orion Square. Orion Square is an initiative of Omesha Foundation, an NGO that focuses on nurturing conscious global citizens. We are focused on accelerating the adoption of sustainable practices by the planet to try and save it from catastrophic consequences. We believe that this is only possible by building an understanding of the issues among the new generation, and bolstering their voices is very critical. And for achieving this, Orion Square has promoted the VONG movement, Voice of the New Generation, which is about bolstering the voice of the new generation to accelerate the adoption of sustainable practices by the global community. It is helping them to develop a deeper understanding of global social issues. Today, we are here to talk about the Sustainable Development Goal 15, titled Life on Earth. It is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So, we'll be starting with a series of questions. So, shall we start? Okay, so my first question to you is, why do we need to plant more trees?
Good evening to all of you. Friends, everybody says that there is global warming, climate change. And for me, the panacea is plantation of trees. When I say that plantation of tree is required, why to plant? If I go to the forest, that FOREST, F stands for food. Whatever food we eat, it is from the plant. The only source of food that we take is from the plant. So, irrespective of whosoever is taking anything, we only get from the plants. And the next is O. O stands for oxygen, right? As you know, the forest, the plants used to have photosynthesis through this chlorophyll and sun ray, and they intake carbon dioxide. So whatever carbon dioxide is produced by the animals, by the human beings, by the industries, that is being neutralized through photosynthesis, and in the process, the end product is oxygen comes out from the plants. So we get oxygen from the plants. And for your information, in the last pandemic, we were suffering due to want of oxygen. And it, once you say that they neutralize the carbon dioxide, that means air is purified. And for this, Delhi has its bad name for the worst city of the world. And for your information, I'm just telling you, you have heard of the parlors, beauty parlors. There are so many beauty parlors in the rural pockets of country, but now India, we are seeing oxygen parlor in Delhi having 99 rupees per hour. So if at all we don't plant tree, we won't get oxygen, which is a threat to our survival. Therefore, then R. R stands for rain, right? If at all we are having rain today, it is due to plant. And the dense forest is in Assam Cherrapunji, for which the more rain is recorded in Cherrapunji. It, once the plant is there, it attracts the cloud and more rain is there. In absence of the rain, in the absence of the plants, now we are facing the scarcity of rain, and in the process, water scarcity is there throughout the country. So once we are having the plant, this problem of rain will not be there. Next comes E. E is environment. So whatever environment is today now, it is polluted due to the emission of carbon dioxide and other carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide. These are being neutralized by the plants. So the environment is so polluted that in each house today, we are having cancer patients. I can bet almost all the houses of this country has experienced a death victim of cancer patients. Then comes S. S for soil. The soil erosion is checked by the plants. Once the forest area is there, plants are there, they catch hold of the soil and soil erosion is checked. Moreover, the roots which go deep inside the soil has caused the water to dip inside, and in the process, the groundwater level is increased. As you know, now Sadhguru is moving around the globe to protect the soil. Now there is less plants for which we are facing this problem, and Sadhguru is moving around the globe to say that this Panchabhuta, one soil is the important factor from which we come, and when we will be going back to the soil, and soil needs to be protected, and plant is the only instrument to protect this soil. FORES, then T is temperature. Temperature is no need to explain you all, because you are facing the temperature crisis. 49 degree, 47 degrees Celsius in Delhi. In other parts of the country, it is only due to the absence of plants. So it is high time that we should think of that how best we can plant tree to cover up all the problems which we are facing in this present scenario.
That is a very elaborate and beautifully put answer, sir. I actually loved how you described the letters completely. Like they were really nice. Okay, so moving on to the next question. My question to you would be, what role can the new generation play in planting more and more trees?
You, apart from the importance of trees, which I told, there is another importance which I have forgotten to tell you, that is, it has some medicinal values. You must have heard the story of Ramayana, where Lakman, when was injured, the Vaidya, the doctor prescribed him for Sanjeevani. And the Hanuman has to go to Gandhamardan to collect Sanjeevani, and he could not trace the Sanjeevani plant and has to collect the whole mountain. So the students should realize that not only this forest, whatever the points I told, this medicinal values also, because nowadays people are going for naturopathy because it has no side effect. So more and more trees has to be planted in order to see, to neutralize the carbon effect, the polluting agents effect, and well as to get the medicinal values from the trees to get themselves fit for the next generations to react and say that, yes, we'll do for the nation with our fitness.
Great. So, what would be the answer to the second question? Like, what role can the new generation play in planting trees?
I believe in action. So what I feel that it is my ISR. Everybody used to say CSR. What is CSR? Corporate social responsibility, right? People used to tell it is the corporate houses, they have the responsibility. But I used to say, no, it is my responsibility. And similarly, I will advise the students, the career of the next generation starts, to see that how best they can see that this plant survive in this planet. So that should be their ISR. And while telling you this ISR, it is not always possible to have this individual responsibility. I will advise them, let it turn to CSR, the group. CSR, I mean the second word, is community social development, community social responsibility. Let all the students get together, united in a area, and may form the community, and this community will take the responsibility in protecting the plants, and that is the way they can say that yes, we can protect the trees. And that should be in their mind, that unless and until they feel that it is their responsibility, it is not possible. If at all they feel that it is the responsibility X or Y or Z, then plant cannot survive, because plants needs proper care, and watering is the only requirement for a plant. Manure and other things and insecticides are to be given, but the major requirement of a plant is water. If at all, the students should feel that it is their social responsibility to see that the plants should grow. In return, they will have a better planet. Then they should inspire the community also to see that how best the plants survive in the planet.
So, I have a follow up question. You said like watering is the major thing that a plant requires, right? So, how is that? How can we water plants in the dry season? Like, which is what is the optimum way to plant uh, water plants in the dry season, especially?
You see, here in this municipal corporation, there are a good number of paths. It is maintained by the municipal corporation. As you know, once people get the employment, they forget their responsibility. They all are only shouting for the rights. So the employees who are responsible for watering the plants, they forget their duty. They don't do sincerely their work. So it is the students who should come forward and move around in their leisure hours, at the off school hours, to see that how best in the parks and other places, whichever the plants have been planted, that should be protected. So they should start watering or giving information through Twitter and other social media to the municipality authorities that, sir, you see in the summer the trees are going to die, and unless and until we take the responsibility of these trees, then it is not possible. So it is now the students should come forward and move around in the leisure hours to inspire the community to see that how best these trees survive. Unless and until nobody tells them, the authorities are scholars and they are never bothered for their responsibility. So it is their duty, the young mass should come forward to see that the streets should survive, and it is their initiative to whistle the authorities is very much required.
That's a very beautiful answer. So, like from your words, I perceive that it is about building a relationship with the plants that we actually grow and really taking care of them. So, I was just wondering, like, when students, if they plant trees in their school premises, but during long vacations, especially summer vacations, how should they take care of the plants? Because it's their vacation and they are not going regularly to the school or the premise where they planted the trees.
So in fact, after my retirement, I'm moving around the rural areas in the schools, colleges to accept the students as our environment soldiers. So whenever we go to the schools and colleges, I used to address them, dear environment soldiers, now I give you the responsibility. If I plant a tree, I give the name. It is in the name of Ram or Sam or anybody's name. And Ram is responsible for that tree, right? Once Ram is responsible, I take a chart of the trees planted, form 3 to 4 persons in charge of the tree, and tell the headmaster as well as that teacher responsible for environment or gardening or whatever to take the responsibility to monitor that whether Ram or Sam or Dam is taking responsibility of nurturing the tree. So what we do, we tell the students that Ram, please show me your tree. We used to get the photograph of the individual. We tell the, give your phone, nowadays video is available, everything is available. So that is the way we are trying. And summer vacation, I have told them, yes, other government in Philippines, they have told that for passing the matriculation examination, you will have to show that you have grown 10 trees. But in our country, this curriculum is not there. Delhi University is going to introduce this time. But unless and until this time, we are not able to enforce this curriculum in the syllabus, let us monitor at our level, taking this as our social responsibility, that this teacher should monitor, and we are keeping record of this, and the students should be given the responsibility. And if at all the plant is dying, then the responsibility is fixed. You will have to replace the tree. So we never leave them, because we are determined and dedicated to see that there should be growth of plant population. We try and inspire the students. You know, these are the importance. Why you are very worried? You will have to pass your time giving 99 rupees per hour in the oxygen parlor. Is it required? When the free oxygen is available, so you take 5 minutes or 10 minutes time in a day to plant water the tree, and that will survive. So please see that when Ram is surviving, his spouse Ram, I mean the tree, should also survive.
This happened once, sir, that we ordered some stuff from a company, and in return of that, they actually planted a tree on the name of my sister. And I remember how happy she was. Just virtually, she knew the tree just virtually. They had a picture of a guava tree, and it was her name on it. And she was like really happy for like a month. So I can actually relate to what you are saying.
Yes, it's a good idea. That is what we are doing in the rural areas.
Yes,
And
sir.
one more thing I will just advise the students that while gifting in the birthdays or any occasion, do please gift a sapling to the persons and see that they should survive.
That's a beautiful thought, sir. At the same time, like when you said that you're making environmental soldiers, on a contrast in the university I see in which we study, that often people will go on for plantation drives, but the care of the plant would be taken off by the gardener rather than the people who sowed the trees. So it really doesn't make that connect. It's just the gardener doing his job for the money and not the actual relation. So that is one aspect that I actually saw or observed.
That is why I told you that once they're engaged, I means once they are in the role of the employer, they forget the responsibility. So that is why I told them you move around, point it out, and bring it to the notice of the authority that yes, gardener has not given water. Simply alleging it won't yield any positive result because they will issue so-called notice and all these things, the formalities go on. They may have the wage deduction or something like that, but in the process, the tree will die. But you do this, and simultaneously, you also see that please help the plant to survive. They require your love and affection equally as that of your children. I had been to one of the ladies' hostel. I had a small sapling with me. The lady superintendent, I told, I have a small sapling with you. Will you able to make it survive? She told, I can nurture a child who is from this to that age. Why can't I maintain the tree? बच्चों को इतने से इतने कर दिया. I not do this? This feeling should be there, and that is why whenever we go to the rural areas, our target areas, the students as well as the ladies, because the ladies are caring. There is no wrong in saying this. These gents are not at all responsible in the city or citizen as a country. And these responsible ladies, they if handed over to a tree, they take proper care, and their care adds population growth in the nation.
Yes, so you're really right on that part. Okay, so I have a like kind of hypothetical but also a true situation for you to answer. So, what kind of a difference will the absence of solid forest cover bring about in the forthcoming years?
Once again, repeat the question.
What kind of difference will the absence of solid forest cover bring forth in the years to come?
You see, the national mandate for forest cover is 33% of the geographical area, right? But so far, in the last Indian State Forest Report 2021, it is seen that we have achieved 24.6% geographical area. And of course, in 17 states, 33% geographical area has been covered, but the rest of the states have declined, shown decline. So once if you go through the Bhutan, a small country, where it is 100%, and there is absolutely no climate change impact, no global warming impact. There is no AC in their country. So if at all, I belong to Puri. Puri is natisitosna, neither no hot, no cold, na ati sita, na ati usna. That was the summer residence of governor of Odisha, right? In our childhood, I have seen that we don't have used a sweater. We don't have blankets. And in summer, hardly there was some fans. AC was a remote possibility. But now, in that same Puri, without AC, without blanket, you can't stay. So the impact is so, unless and until these plants are not there, it is very difficult to be in an atmosphere where we can be comfortable. Whenever we are entering into the car, we suddenly start giving the AC. We are saying that without AC, we can't survive. Why? If you go to the remote areas, you can see the difference between the urban and rural areas. We are conducting meetings in the gardens where there is ample forests are there. There is no AC, but we are feeling cool there. So that is what the impact difference is there. So that is why I must advise the young mass to come forward, because once you are depending upon this AC, this energy is required, which is mostly the coal, and it pollutes the atmosphere. So the energy renewable and the petrol cars, diesels, all these are harmful effect in the air. So this to be changed. So students should come forward and see that how best the plants population can be added in the society.
Absolutely, sir. Sir, your answer begs one question from me, and it is like, what is the impact, like overall impact of trees or plants on a very small local level, like just a area of a room. Like if there is a plant and there is a room or an open area of the size of a room.
You see, now the words have changed. You can have better oxygen. Now people are staying mostly in the apartments. So they say that we don't have a place to plant trees. The alternative is that in the balcony, you can have the small space, you can have horizontal plantation, or sorry, vertical plantation. So that can be done. And simultaneously, urban forest and rural forest. Here is a boy whose name was cited by Narendra Modi in his Man Ki Baat.
लंदन में तो अपना एक्सपीरियंस तो अलग क्या पता
Sorry for the disturbance, sir.
His name was cited by Narendra Modi in Man Ki Baat. He is an engineer by profession. What he's doing, he's moving village to village, and in the vacant space, the say 1 acre area, he's uniting the villagers and planting the trees and making a village forest. And as an engineer, he had shown the air quality, what was before the rural forest and what was after the forest. There's a remarkable difference, and the temperature has come down, and more in the area of 4-5 kilometers, he has done 6 to 7 village forests, and the rain is more there. Air is purified, rain is more, and temperature is less. So these are the achievement he has done, for which your Prime Minister has cited his name in the Man Ki Baat. So this can be done. if you are staying in a village in urban, we are also trying for that urban forest, but getting a plot is very difficult. But still, you can do it in your own apartment also, so that there will be oxygen, and you can have a change. You can feel it.
Okay, so another question I had was when we are looking forward to plant trees, or maybe for a plantation drive or anything of that sort, what kind of trees should we look forward to planting? Should we look for the smaller ones, the bigger ones? What variety would you suggest?
See, people used to say that we have a medicinal plant garden. If at all you have heard the name of Charaka, have you heard? Charaka is the first medicine specialist of this planet. In good old age, Charaka was taught in the Gurukul. He was a medicine student, but the Charak, you do not know Charaka. He has written a book, Charaka Sanghita. And
Ah, heard the book actually, Charak Samhita, not the
Charaka
post.
Sanghita, that is the first book on medicine. And Charak is, his statue is there in Australian Medical Council. He is written there, the first medicine specialist of this planet. Right? What he says, in his final examination, teacher gave him the question paper. You give me the list of unwanted plants which do not have the medicinal values. Right? So whatever his classmates were there, they went to the forest and found out somebody has 10, 20, 30, so good number of trees. Charak could not find a single tree, and he signed it and submitted the blank list. Sir, I could not find any tree which don't have the medicinal value. So I mean to say every tree has had importance, but in decorative plants is for decoration purpose, but we are concerned for the both types of. One is forestry, the social forestry trees, and the other is your fruit bearing trees. Right? We have experienced when we are planting trees, it is none of their business to nurture it. It is a psychology. I mean, what is there? Why should we take care? These people have not yet realized, even after pandemic, when they have died out, the relations have died out of oxygen, want of oxygen. But once in the village, if we are going to give them fruit-bearing trees, they will like it and nurture it because it has some medicinal value, it has some economic value, and fruits they would like to take. So we not only plant trees in the month of June end to September end, we plant trees, and mostly the social forestry tree as well as fruit bearing trees. And after January or February, we go to the villages and audit it whether the trees are surviving or not. Our results are finding is once we are giving it the fruit trees, 100% survival is there. Because people are interested, matlab. They want that they should get immediate return.
Sorry for the disturbance again. So the person just entered.
From the fruit tree, they will get immediate benefit. They do not realize, but here the responsibility of the students should be there to make them understand, yes, you may not get the immediate effect, or what you are getting free of oxygen, it is not understood by you, but it is equally important. So I'm least concerned about the decorative plants, but I am more concerned about the social forestry. and neem tree, people trees, banyan trees. These trees are very important.
Yes, sir. I would just like to add one thing. Like the first line of Ayurveda as a text starts with something on the lines of every leaf, root, and flower has some medicinal quality. Some we know, and the others we are yet to find. So the
That is what I told you.
yeah,
Charak has told the same thing. He
even
submitted the blank paper that no tree is without medicinal value. That is what I told.
exactly. So I was just repeating your words in a different way. Okay, so like in today's world, we see that people are very concerned, like very righteously concerned with the different types of polluting gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and stuff like that. So we know that trees in general absorb CO2 for the photosynthesis stuff. So what about the nitrogen and sulfur gases? Are trees even helpful in those situations?
Trees also help in neutralizing all these poisonous gases. So the impact of these poisonous gases in the air is being neutralized by the plants. So we used to tell the please see that if you are not able to plant tree, we have a system in Orissa, Smriti Bana. What is that Smriti Bana? Your father is dead or your grandfather is no more. So you are saying that you are taking the plea that we don't have land to plant a tree. The Smriti Bana, they are giving the scope. Yes, you deposit the amount for us, and we will plant for your grandfather, grandmother, anybody who has died in their name, and pay me the dues for maintaining the tree. So in the process, why it is that I'm telling you, because Smriti Bana, in memory of your near and dear, you can also plant, and if you have money, you pay them and see that whatever the poisonous impact is there, and the fuel which you are saying, it is not at all conducive for our living. So in Smriti Bana, in the memory garden, these people can deposit money and can see that plants can be planted. So the poisonous impact can be neutralized through additions of plants. So this is also, I want to give you a message. And for your information, one more thing, that Puri, that is Jagannath temple is there. And Jagannath is made of neem trees. And in 11 years or 12 years gap, these trees are recultivated. I mean, that tree is called Daru Brahma. And this Brahma is shifted to the new deity, which is made of neem tree. So in Odisha, the neem trees are rampantly planted to see that in any time point of time, these trees can be utilized in constructing the Jagannath Ji, Jagannath Balabhadra Subhadra. So these are the in this process, what we do, we plant neem trees, which are very useful to neutralize all the poisonous impact in the air. So neem is very important, for which in other way, this scientists, they have created Jagannath, Balabhadra, Subhadra, which are made of neem trees, and they are replaced in every 12, 13, 14 years. And neem trees in the process are planted to neutralize, to purify the air.
Yes, so even I have heard of it. It's like on the basis of the solar cycle, 12 years and some months. So according to that, did do it. Okay, so like a very simple question to ask, but can be like very intriguing. do standalone trees work? Like, what should we aim for? Like scattered trees or very accumulative trees while planting them? Like, will scattered trees work well on distance, or should we plant them close enough, like a forest?
See, the place is important. If at all you are planting trees in avenue means roadside, and in schools or colleges or any parks, so there is a formula is there. You will have to give this much of gap. If you are going to farm urban forest or rural forest, then there is no need to give the gap. And the more the trees, more the air purifying. So it is what? Because in the roadside plantation, you cannot plant in the shorter distance. It has to give proper space for proper growth, or in park, or in any school or colleges, or I mean the educational institutions. So that is where it depends on the place where you live. And it is very important to have forest, because in the inside the city, we are now seeing that unless there is a forest in the city, that is temperature is so high that it makes us unbearable. So this concept of urban forest is coming up, where we can closely associated trees are to be planted. Otherwise, it should be given gap for plantation.
Exactly, sir. But at the same time, what I think is, how can we maintain the balance between like the infrastructure, the urbanization, and the green cover? Like, are there any tips you would suggest or the ideas that are being followed currently? Anything?
First of all, I say that it is the mindset.
Hmm.
First, there is no bar in development. You will, without development, we cannot proceed. We cannot go ahead. We are still in the underdeveloped stage. So this nation wants to be developed, but not at the cost of polluting the atmosphere where our living is at a threat. So what I suggest, here in Odisha, what they did, one forest division, suppose they wanted to widen the road. It was earlier 4-lane road, then it became 8-lane road. So whatever big trees were there for years together, instead of cutting them, or I mean felling them, they shifted the plant to a other place where there is space. Of course, it involved money, but it is more required to invest money for sustainable development. Because yesterday I was going through the paper where it is written that $100 billion is required now to clean the Pacific Ocean. It is filled with plastics. And whatever waste we are having, it is not able to be disposed of because it's not biodegradable. So if at all you see, and in a state like Odisha, I will tell it is always having cyclone and all other things. If we could have to prepare the preventive measures, it may require more money, but post-cyclone or post-flood effect, even in Mumbai, even now at Assam, there is flood. So these are the things because of the climate change. So the only panacea is plants. If at all we could have taken the preventive steps in consultation with the environmentalists, then there would not be such disasters, and it can evade more expenditure. So what they did in Odisha, that the big trees were transferred. Now the machines are there. From the roots, they have uprooted it and placed in a different place. So I mean, whatever amount of money you can spend. Now it is a great threat for us. As you know, that Kejriwal is introducing odd even car movement, because the more number of vehicles should not run in that traffic, and it emits negative, or carbon footprints will be more if more traffic will be there. So these types of So in order to avoid such problem, we'll have to, and now the government is encouraging for electric vehicle, because this fuel problem is there apart from the war in the Ukraine and Russia, and these are causes of polluting the atmosphere. So what they are going to say, that electrical vehicles should be there in the planet, so that they would not pollute the atmosphere. So these things are to be developed, and development should be there, but not at the cost of deteriorating the atmospheres.
So, listening to all this, I believe that at a greater level, policy makes a great deal in everything that we do. But at the same time, do you think that smaller communities, especially communities built by those under 18, who are not able to vote, can they make any difference? Like, just planting, would it really help on a larger scale, or is it just a small effort?
Have you heard the name of Greta Thunberg?
No, sir, I haven't.
Greta Thunberg was only 16 when she raised the question. You know, she sat before the parliament of the Sweden, Swiss girl, and with a placard, allow me us to survive. We, the younger generation, should survive, because the way you are destroying our planet will not able to save ourselves. So what she did, on every Friday, she went before the Sweden parliament and sat before them, bunking the class. She did attend Friday, and it became a Friday strike. This movement carried forward, and it went throughout the globe, and the Sweden government came forward to address her problems. And in the process, she went to the UNO also to address the whole mass, and even she dared to insult Trump, the president of America. How dare you to destroy our planet, allow us to survive. And in the same way, if you have heard the name of Ridhima Pandey, another teenager has filed a case in the Supreme Court, that I just want to tell you, you are aware of the election process. The political parties used to give a manifesto before election. Do you know? Congress, Janta, Bharatiya Janata Party, whatever political parties, they give a manifesto to the public that this we will do for, if at all we will be elected. But till today, I was going through the manifestos of all the political parties from 1952 to till today. No political parties have yet in their manifesto has mentioned that we will address the climate change effect, or will prohibit the global warming effect. So once there is no agenda in their manifesto, why should they be concerned about our problems? So this is a bottleneck. And now the world is such that staying in 49 degrees Celsius and 47 degrees Celsius is not a matter of easy living. Polluting the atmosphere, and 6 lakhs people are dying in air pollution. And Delhi alone, some thousands people are dying every month. And mostly the children and old aged people are affected. Then is it not the responsibility And when the government is not doing, these young children have come here. Another Kanguja, Lisipria Kangujam, another 7 years or 8 years girl from Manipur, Lisipria Kangujam. She's also going to the different countries and raising this issue before the prime ministers and other dignitaries and authorities to see that, yes, we want to survive. You have lived. I am now 65. So my quota is over almost. So now the younger generation should raise their voice. And by raising merely or doing climate strike on Friday, it won't yield any positive result. One Anirban Das from Midnapur, he came to me through social media. He's a Bengali fellow. He was telling me, Sir, we are doing so much of things. আমাদেরকে এই করতে হবে ওরে বাবু সব ছেড়ে দাও করার কিছু আছে তাহলে do it at your level what you can do. Don't think that government will do everything. Now it is you. Only raising voice won't build any positive result. You plant a tree and survive. Make them see that it is survived. Similarly, when I was doing this after retirement, a few children from Betul of Madhya Pradesh, they wrote a letter to me in social media that, sir, please give your biodata in the video. And after seeing that students of that Betul village, small city of Madhya Pradesh, साहब का तो इतना अच्छा नौकरी था, तनख्वाह भी था, पेंशन भी था, अगर ये क्यों कर रहे हैं? तो आराम से खाना खा के सो सकते थे. अगर इस उम्र में ये कर सकते हैं तो हम क्यों कर नहीं पाएंगे? This is the inspiration I am giving to them, and I don't think that the students who at all listen that at this age, if at all I am able to do to see that this movement should pass forward, they should carry forward my mission to see that this India should be a better green world for the better life for the future.
It's very overwhelming to hear all this. Like, it's really a feel-good factor thing for me. So the last question for you would be like, what do you think about the work we are doing over here, the VONG movement in general, raising the voices of the newer generation, giving them the understanding, the inspiration, and talks like these to inspire them to start movements of their own. What do you think about that?
Yes, Frank, I do beg to differ with you that saying this or delivering this speech or writing a paper or giving a talk in the TV, which I've left, it won't yield any positive result. I tell you, so many people have seen Greta Thunberg. How many have gone to see that they can do something like Greta? None have yet. Very few, 1, 2, 3, 4%. So I have gone to the villages. I'm not working in urban areas, only in the concentrating in the rural areas, because this urban area people, the students, kitchen lag jayega, ye mitti hai. So I don't know. They should first learn that what is their responsibility. So once I take the Paribesh Suraksha Abhijan, this Abhijan March, I mean, if at all, VONG should give an opportunity through video or whatever medium, because we are old generation, we don't know the technology. Like, I will stand in the village, plant a tree, and all other participants be in the queue in the respective places with plants. And they should plant a tree, and in every month, if at all it is 100, 400, 1,000, they plant a tree and they should take care of, and in every month they should give me the photograph. Yes, we have taken care of and we have grown it. Then I will be the happiest man. And before death, I will be happy that I could be able to motivate the younger generation and see that this much plants can be added to the way. for a purified air for this next generation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those kind words. So, people, with this, we have come to the end of the event and we'll be wrapping up. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. The event was so great. We loved hearing from you, and your words were so humble, and we could literally connect with what you were saying. And everything was going straight into the heart, not into the mind. It was not a blank, just a meeting. It was a very nice meeting where we felt and interacted through our hearts. So it was very nice, sir. Very nice to have you here, sir. Thank you so much.
It will be my pleasure if it is transformed into action. Thank you very much.